Welcome, learners, to another episode of the EPALE Newscast, your informative broadcast with a view on adult learning and education in Europe. My name is Andrea La Peña, and I have the pleasure today with Marta to deliver the latest and freshest news in the next few minutes. I think by now you should have learned what the EPALE Newscast is. It's a short live video that will go through the main initiatives, news, and activities in the field of education and training for adults, with a particular focus on skills this year, because in case you didn't remember, 2023 is indeed the European Year of Skills. This newscast airs every month on the first Monday, so you can already save the date until the end of the year, with the notable exception actually of next month, because next month, Monday falls on the 1st of May, Labor Day, and we very much hope that you will be getting some well-deserved rest from work. You can tune in with the EPALE Newscast on Monday, the 8th of May. And today, we have a special focus for you. Just like last time we did it with Engage, the topic of EPALE for 2023, one of the topics of EPALE for 2023. This time we want to center the episode on the launch of the EPALE community stories. But for this, I will leave the floor to my partner in crime here. Marta, what are the community stories and how can I engage?
Thank you very much, Andrea. EPALE Community Stories are a flagship initiative designed to value adult learning, professional experience, and vision. Every year, EPALE investigates different aspects and approaches of adult learning and education, and this year, the future is the great protagonist. 2023 presents us with the challenge of shaping the future of education in light of the big transformation in our society. What changes need to be embraced by the world of adult learning? Looking to the future, what learning models lay ahead? How do you adult learning professionals imagine and what do you wish for the future of education? It's time for sharing your vision and hopes through the EPALE Community Stories initiative. Every year, the initiative ends with the release of a digital storybook, which is an official EU publication. And here is a taste of the last year's community storybook collecting your stories.
What if we could go back in time for a moment? What if we could change one small detail? What if we could start over from scratch? What if all this was just meant to be? What's your story?
I tried to decipher the signs I saw around me. I sensed that learning to read would open up the world to me. And I was so happy when, little by little, the world unfolded before me.
As a child, I used to dream of having the book of wisdom, to know everything in the world. Now I know that the more you know, the more you realize you don't know.
There are things that happen by chance, and things that happen because you are looking for them. Well, my life is a combination of the two.
What do I want? What skills do I have? What would I like to achieve? We must be able to define our needs, so we can start working on meeting them.
People have a treasure called curiosity in their hearts. It is the excitement of making discoveries, the elated feeling of taking on difficult challenges, and the exhilaration of expanding their world.
Being a trainer is more than a role. For me, it is a process of identity, learning and creation, and discovery.
First, I learn to become aware of myself. Then I start to educate others.
Learning happens everywhere, all the time, together. Explore the EPALE community stories now.
Wow, that video was super heart-touching for me. And continuing with the topic, Andrea, what are the EU latest developments?
Oh, I have a lot of developments for our listeners and for our viewers, mainly two fields, skills and participation. So as we know, 2023 is the European Year of Skills. And so the Council of the EU published a set of Council conclusions on skills and competences for the green transition. Now, we know that transitioning to a carbon neutral society requires us to rethink education systems and skill provision. And although these conclusions are defined by a focus on learning for the labor market and for labor market participation or boosting the competitiveness of Europe, the Council conclusions do make reference to transversal skills and key competences, understanding the diversity of competences that are required for a truly holistic development of the learners in general and adults in particular. So this is a very good step forward because they connect learning for the green transition with the EU Green Comp, and they capture to some extent policy coherence. So trying to put together all the different policy instruments that are out there, which is not always the case with the EU, we have to say, especially when discussing skills and education. But this time, the conclusions really laid the foundation for more lifelong learning approach, actually, in the green transition. Secondly, there's a big and great way for you to shape learning opportunities in Europe. This is because the European Commission launched the call for evidence and open public consultation for learning opportunities. This is learning mobility abroad in Europe for everyone. Sometimes we fall into the mistake that learning mobility is only for young people, pupils, and people that are enrolled in higher education, but this is not the case, actually. Learning mobility is for everyone. And the EU, and especially the Erasmus Plus, strives to be as inclusive as possible with all age groups. Now, both consultation processes, the call for evidence and the open public consultation, will feed into the development of a proposal for a council recommendation. You know, the European Commission sets itself to be doing something great, asks citizens, and then brings it all to the council and the parliament. So there's a proposal, there will be a proposal for a council recommendation on learning mobility framework, which is planned for the second half of the year. So if you have ideas on how to shape this, if you can help identify barriers to learning mobility, provide a little bit of guidance on how to overcome those barriers and promote learning mobility as a whole, please do up on the website of the European Commission, contribute to both. There's another way that we can actually shape learning mobility, and this is the COFOE Citizens Panel. Now, COFOE is not a bad word. It's the Conference on the Future of Europe that was going through last year and that ended last year. But because of its success, the European Commission decided to revamp a little bit the Citizens Panel. The Citizens Panel are those that try to engage citizens at different levels, randomly selected citizens, with the European decision-making processes. The Lifelong Learning Platform, which I represent today, was heavily involved in the Conference on the Future of Europe and is today involved in the Citizens Panels on learning mobility. The panel already took a first meeting, as you can see from the slideshow here, that had citizens randomly selected throughout the 27 member states come to Brussels all together and try to engage in the future of learning mobility. Here, citizens were briefed about the existing processes and initiatives. They were asked to contribute with their ideas. They were guided by experts. And I'm proud to say that LLP had a few experts over there that would guide citizens into deliberative processes. And hopefully, this whole process, this whole citizens panel, will come up with recommendations for the European institutions on how to make learning mobility better, more inclusive, which is one of the biggest topics in the field, and hopefully will contribute to a more democratic way of thinking learning mobility. Last but not least, you should know that the European Commission is running a feasibility study on the development of a European digital skills certificate, a certificate of your digital skills. The final survey of the study is implemented by one of the consultants, is open for responses until Friday. So make sure that you hop on the Commission website if you have ideas and want to help shape the European digital skills certificate. Now, I think that we went through most of the stuff, but I wanted to ask you, Marta, is there anything else that we should know is going on EPALE and on the EPALE community?
Absolutely, yes, Andrea. Thank you for the question. So, on Wednesday, 29th of March, EPALE hosted the online discussion Building Skills for Democratic Life, the role of adult learning and education. We discussed how skills, competencies, attitudes ultimately enable people to find fulfillment in their lives and adapt to fast-paced changes beyond labor market participation. And you can watch the full video in the website. Also, the European Digital Skills Award 2023, which have the deadline for application on the 8th of April, are organized by the Digital Skills and Jobs platform of the European Commission. The award will celebrate projects and initiatives that are helping Europe bridge the digital gap in 5 categories: empowering youth in digital upskilling at work, digital skills for education, inclusion in the digital world, and women in ICT careers. Also, the ATF Green Skills Awards, the European Training Foundation is launching a call for stories of good practice of the development of skills in accelerating the green transition. The aim is to provide inspirational and innovative ideas of how education and employment policymakers and practitioners from around the world can contribute to greener and fairer economies and societies. The deadline for this is the 23rd of April. Also, don't miss the opportunity to read the article of Regina Ebner with the title What Makes Us Happy? About adult learning, education, flexibility, and happiness. Last but not least, save the date for the 2023 EPALE Community Conference. The EPALE Community Conference is returning from 10th to 12th October 2023 for 3 days of exchange and cooperation, high-level keynote speeches, topical panel discussions, and engaging workshops. It will be held online and is open to the entire adult learning community from across Europe. So, ending with this all information, Andrea, can you please make a little wrap up for the people who's watching us?
Oh, absolutely. I think we gave a lot of food for the month ahead. There are a lot of things to engage with, especially on EPALE. I very much look forward. The community conference last year, it was amazing. It was really a thrill. And once again, the next episode of this EPALE newscast will be live for you on the 8th of May. In case you already know that you will miss it for some reason, don't worry, the videos will stay on YouTube and on EPALE. Thank you very much for staying with us. Thank you very much, Mata, for being a co-guest today.
Thank you.
And see you next month.
See you all.